All right. And we're back here once again on another edition of Couch Crows Live Under the Lights here on a Wednesday night. What is going on, Maui?
What's up, man? Superstar. What's up? Doing big things. What's up, man? Expansion,
I'm here,
ascension.
man. I'm here, yeah, I mean, just being blessed to be in the room, that's all. And it's
Right,
not quite yet, but, just to be in the room, it was a good feeling. But
right.
yeah, we're back at it. Obviously, we took the week off because obviously last week I was en route to Atlanta for the sports business black sports. There we go again. Black Sports Business Symposium.
Okay.
So in Atlanta, Georgia. So uh, great time. I was there from Wednesday to Sunday. It's another great opportunity to be in rooms where I didn't think I would ever be in. Great
hmm
speakers. I mean, obviously, the headline is Rich Paul, Maria Taylor.
hmm
Just many people who have spoke in those meetings. Had the opportunity to meet people within in the world of sports like Steve Weish, the NFL
You talked to
Network.
Rich Paul?
I didn't. I was in the room though.
All
Well,
right.
he dropped some jewels. He dropped some real jewels on us. Maria Taylor as well. She dropped a lot of jewels on us. You got the King NIL, Raekwon Smith,
hmm
actually a Springer alum, from Norfolk State University. So I got to be able to talk to him. It was fun. It was some. The days were long, but they were fun. They were good, productive days. They definitely, within doing, the seminars, the trainings, and all that. Not trainings, but as far as the speakers and everything, and the different things that they had planned for us. And then, like then after the symposium, mixers, meeting other people as well. So it was just a great opportunity. It was
hmm
definitely, great opportunity.
Well,
Um,
for
go
me, I was like, man, okay, what's going on, right? And then on Facebook, I'm just seeing stuff being put up. I've been like,
yeah,
oh, okay, okay. Like, you know what I mean? I was
yeah,
like, I didn't know what was going on, man. But I was like, that's what's up. That's what's up. Do what you do. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Do
Definitely
what you
fun and
do.
definitely, even in the midst of that, meeting up with the beauty thing about it all is people that you've seen on, that I've worked with on the podcast or being on their podcast, actually seeing
hmm
them in real life. So I think that was
Right.
kind of the coolest thing to see people that we deal with on the internet level and meeting them in real life was awesome. And they like case in point, one of my guys, Mike Patton, from
hmm
the AFC South show.
mm
He's been on Commanders in the Chat when we played the Titans, and then I came on to his show in October as well. So
hmm
nice to meet him. And then just forge the bond with some definitely great folks. I mean, you talk about Mike, Danny, Megan, DJ, and Parrish. Like it's a lot
hmm
of guys a lot of guys and gals that we forge relationships with, and it's just a great opportunity. It's just one of the things. This is the kind of one of the first opportunities I can actually see that the skills I've amassed in like this. Gosh, how many years I've been doing this? Probably about 12 years, 11 now.
hmm
Change.
hmm
Yeah, those skills can be transferable in a sports job marketplace. So
Right.
um, yeah, it was a lot of clarity, a lot of still to me, it's still like it's I got work to do. I still got a lot of work to do, but I'm just going to keep doing my thing with it, and don't get too high on the highs and don't get too low on the lows, but just keep
hmm
it even kill and just keep working.
Right.
Yeah.
mm mm. Whoa.
Yeah. And huge shout out to guy Will. Shout out, what's going on,
right.
Will? Hope
Right.
everything good with you, Will. It's been a minute. Huge shout out to guy Will Vogel,
All right.
NBA Carousel Brethren.
Any kin to
Once upon a time.
any is he any kin to Frank?
Nah, I don't think so. He hasn't mentioned it, but yeah,
Yeah, that's
but
my
yeah, man,
cousin.
yeah. So we got a great show lined up for you tonight.
All
So
right.
we talked about the trip to Atlanta. What we'll
Mm-hmm.
do, we'll talk about Air, the movie Air.
Mm-hmm.
Draymond Green suspended for Game 3,
Mm-hmm.
coming up against the Kings.
Yep.
We'll talk about our initial thoughts on so far that we've seen in the NBA playoffs. Jalen Hurts get that extension,
Mm-hmm.
and boy, oh boy, Mikey Williams,
Yeah.
he might have threw one of his bags away. And then we'll put a bow on the show and give our game ball and our final thoughts. So what we're gonna do before we get to going with the show, we're gonna kick that intro, and we will be right back. All right, and we're back here on Couch Coach Live. And also, the intro, obviously, by our guy JP. Met him in Atlanta as well. So, to our crew, we got Mike, Megan, Danny, DJ, Parrish, and JP. I can't
Mm.
believe I forgot my boy JP in the teaser. But shout out to our
Mm.
guy JP. Met him down in the A, and actually, did the intro for us, many moons ago, obviously with our experience at Outball Network, as
Mm-hmm.
far as when we did NFL stuff, so I mean, shout out to JP. So he's doing his thing. So, and before we get started, so what was your thoughts on the movie Air?
I mean, first, no disrespect. I
Yeah.
think it should have been on a streaming service because I think there should be a part two. You know what I mean? Like, even though I know
Mhm.
you can go to movie theater to see it, but I thought it was phenomenal. I thought it went well with that Lakers series. It went well with it. So, some by me watching it, some of the stuff it spoke on the details of how contracts were dealing with all the different shoes of Converse in the Laker series. And in this one, it was just interesting, man. Like it was interesting. It was like people nervous about changing the narrative of things, and it just really broke down the marketing portion of how he ended up being who he was going to be. It's like he sat back and they really analyzed everything from it, and he told his mother, I know I want this. If you can please I want this. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm looking for, and um, I'm going to work my butt off to get it all. You know what I mean? And it was everything, even not just him playing basketball and everything. It all was about the shoes. When you really watch the movie, when it narrowed down, it would seem like everything he did was almost for the shoes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but it was just great. Like, just the details, man. Like why they wore white shoes. You know, the Nike paying 5,000 for the paying for the fine. You know what I'm saying? It was like wow. You know what I mean? So it was great, man. Like it was really great. I wish HBO Max would have it because I really wanted to watch it more than once. You know what I mean?
And it might come on streaming service.
Right.
Once the
I,
buzz turned
I
down.
really want your take because I know you're a big fan of Jordan, and that's one of my first pair of shoes was Jordans. I got them when I was in Germany. Like we spoke about how he used to stick his tongue out and how it was such a big thing that he stuck his tongue out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just what's one more thing? I want to see a part two because I want to see what happens after you watch the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like what happens after the contract once he gets in there. We know what happened, but I would like to find the details of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But on you.
But the only thing about if he does it part two, we got to get actually a Michael Jordan there. We can't have just a guy his back to everybody. Because the aftermath is going. No, I'm serious. But the aftermath essentially he's gonna have to play more of a prominent role if there is
You
a
think
second
so?
part. Yeah, because you think about it, what did we really? Because the funny thing about the movie was it really wasn't about Michael Jordan,
No.
and that's the thing where everything post 1984 is gonna have to be the central focus had to be Michael Jordan.
Right.
With that, in my personal opinion, I love the movie. It was great.
It
I
was
think
great,
it's
man.
just one of those where you just think of obviously, a great year in 1984. I like how
Mm.
like the nostalgia of it, obviously because that's
Yeah.
foreign. But I loved it. I love just the fact of I even I'm the king of hyperbole. I like my boy Matt Damon better get an Emmy. I mean, an Emmy for that.
Oh, that speech was wonderful, bro.
It was awesome. Like
Hey,
so, yeah,
not if he don't get it, please give it to Chris Tucker because he was like, "We got him with them big with the
yeah,
big eyes." Oh, we got
yeah,
him. Like you know what I mean? Yeah.
yeah. And I like like just the role that he played as Sonny Vaccaro. I just like
Mm-hmm.
just the fact of just it just shows you kind of how it almost speaks to kind of what they talked about in the Last Dance, where they talked about how Nike was like this fledgling company, and it was a running shoe. So you
Yeah.
look at they really like struck gold with acquiring Michael Jordan, and then just
Right.
the fact of just seeing kind of how that process was that when they were a dark horse in that
Right.
situation to now becoming like the front runners. And instead of a car went all the way to Wilmington, North Carolina, and
Right.
took a chance. So it was just great things about that. And what she did a great job too. Ben Affleck as Phil Knight.
Right.
And it's funny how like it credits and it kind of shows you because I kind of was like, why are you barefoot in the office? But then it showed you pictures of Phil Knight barefoot
Right.
in the office, and then
Right.
just the crazy running suits and all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I loved it. And like I said, Chris Tucker was great in that movie as well. And even
Yeah.
Marlon Wayans, even to
Yeah. We wasn't
play
there long, but yeah.
oh, that's
Yeah.
one thing. I'm getting used to this Marlon Wayans being a serious character. It's kind of like obviously from the Bel Air, him being Will's
Mm-hmm.
father. Now this is somewhat
Mm-hmm.
of a serious role. Like I got to take Marlon Wayans serious. I can't laugh every time I see him. So, but
um.
it was just yeah.
Everybody, man. Like I was just sitting there looking at it. I was like all of those guys have a unique comedian type of personality. You know what I mean? Each and every one of them. And I just saw it was great acting, being the storylines and then being a sports fan. And then I was born in 78. So like I remember like 1984 means a lot to me because I think that's when I moved to Germany. You know what I mean? So it was it was great, man. Like it really was. Like I was just sitting here and then I like hearing history of how the game was. Like they had a marketing for 3 NBA players. And the reason why because it couldn't be one player be that dominant. You know, and I was like, that made the shoe, and this is everything. Even when they made the shoe, they only made one just for him. Like I'm sitting here like these were marketing geniuses. You know what I mean? Marketing geniuses. Well, after he went to everybody else and they all had the same shoe and everybody's wearing it, it's like, nah, this is about you. And I know he'd been wanting that his whole time because he was held. Let me tell you what I thought. I wish I watched it with you because Oh man, whatever. It's been out. They gonna watch the movie. When they said that Dean Smith, I didn't know this. They said he couldn't win the big one. And they was like, why did he have this rookie in the game? Like that would I was like, oh man, they're doing a wonderful job in this movie to bring you in to say this is why this is the one, this is the special one. You know what I mean? So word, man,
Yeah,
I really once I seen you say that you was at the movie theater, I said, oh, I gotta find it. Like, you know what I mean? I gotta find it. So yeah, man, it was a
yeah,
great movie.
and yeah, like, and that was like, when it comes to like the genius of Sonny Vaccaro, like a lot of people
Right.
didn't. They looked at him. You look at like how David Foster character looked at it as Sakara as an idiot, like a big
Mm-hmm.
idiot. But like you said, how he broke it down and said, well, what makes him special than the Charles Barkleys, Sam Bowie, ones they
Right.
were looking at covering for Nike. And he's like, well, that's, like you said, he broke down that play and was like, because he's like, nobody in this world would have thought a freshman, 18-year-old freshman was going to take a shot like that. And it shows you like kind of how the
Right.
trust that Dean Smith had in him. But I think the other thing that is just about that movie in itself, it's just like you said, it's the marketing genius. It's almost like, and I think, and it speaks to kind of when we look at the Jordan brand, even present day, like
Right.
39 years later. It's not about it's about the shoe and almost kind of the relationship you have with the shoe,
Right.
and it just that personal that feel to it. It's like it
Right.
makes everybody kind of feel something when you wear
Right.
those Jordans, and it's like
Right.
more of an experience more than just a classic tennis shoe.
Right.
So and it's funny, like, and it's funny. I actually rocked my Jordan ones at the movies, and I like you get it. We get it, and that's where it came from.
It's few things real quick, man. Like first off,
Yeah,
I love our motto, just do it. I was like, that was cool. Um,
yeah,
a shoe is nothing until you put your foot in it, or something like that. Ain't
yeah,
that what they say? Like that was I was like, wow, and just those
yeah.
things, like, and it was a, it was the other one was just a marquee of. This is someone that got that one shoe. I lost what I was going to say, but it don't make a difference. We know what we talking about. But like just the simple fact that it's like, and then at the end, they was like everybody knew, like everybody. He said everybody knew that he was going to be that one. It's like you know what I mean? And
Yep.
I don't know, man. And then I think also, which I think is very important, is they said that the guy made a like a what was it? It was a basketball tournament.
Oh yeah, Sunday for car. It was yeah, because all the other brands were having it.
Right. So like
Yeah, like
the
like
having a
Nike campus.
yeah, like they had a basketball tournament. It was like, man, that was your big thing. Like you knew you put all these different kids from across and it just showed you like, damn, this dude made this tournament that got kids from all across the country to compete.
Yep.
And I'm thinking to myself, Nike, that was genius to have somebody like that so they could know who is the next guy. You know what I mean? And they just made it right, man. They just made it right because he was so unique and so different that everybody wanted to be just like him. We don't want to be like that. We want to be like that. Like, you know what I mean? It's just that's why I
And
said it need to be a part two. I want to know about the
yeah,
song. I want to see Spud
yeah,
Webb. That's what I'm talking about. Like what happened
yeah,
afterwards, the Spud Webb commercial. I want to hear how they came up with the song. I want to, all those different things, man.
yeah.
I really do.
And the thing about it was because Sonny Vaccaro was vilified for that. You even like when Phil Neville was like, all you do is giving all these free shoes to these kids.
Right.
And that's one thing too, where yeah, even in that genius point, it's still kind of where he was looked at like, well, like you're making the wrong moves.
Right.
So it was a great movie. It was definitely a great movie. It was funny. And then Viola Davis, it's Michael Jordan mom. It was hilarious. It was funny. But yeah, and that's one thing too, where those type of moments where essentially he was just the evolution of what is everything present day. When you look at
Right.
guys getting these shoe deals and what have you,
Right.
he Dr. J crawled so MJ can walk, while LeBron can run and fly. And then we think of a guy that can potentially fly. We'll talk about him at the end because it's that tragic. Well, tragic.
Right.
It's a little crazy.
Right.
Yeah. So let's talk about your boy Draymond Green. Your boy Draymond Green. He has these habitual at best moments that come at such an unopportune time. So your boy Draymond Green is suspended for Game 3 in that series as they head back to Golden State as they face their NorCal neighbors, the Sacramento Kings, who now have a 2-0 lead in this series. So late in that game, why your boy Draymond was stomping on Sabonis' chest and then alleged that he was grabbing his leg. Your thoughts on your boy Dray?
Oh man, it's just such a toss up. But Draymond Green, it's what he do. I literally wrote so much stuff pertaining to this. You know what I mean? And then when we do it, I'm sitting here like, man, it's ridiculous. Like he do this every year. Like, okay, what did I put down? Okay, he has been ejected 17 times, twice in the twice in the postseason. He's been suspended 4 times. 2023 stopping Sabonis. 2016 he had went 3 flagrants. LeBron in the groin, of course. Argument with KD in 2023, and he 16th tech. Like it's just ridiculous, man. Like I know that's part of the game, but they not the same Warriors, and they really need him. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk more about it a little bit later when we talk about the NBA, but I hear everybody talking about that wasn't no hard stomp. How you know? You know, it looked like a WWE stomp. They always, you know what bothers me is they always sticking up for him. You know what I'm saying? Like I like Draymond. Don't get me Tris. Don't get me. I understand who he is, but they always sticking up for him, man. When he do something crazy. Last year, he went to block Jalen Brown's shot and fell into him, and then when Jalen Brown was trying to get up, he pushed him in the back, and then Jalen Brown got up. He tried to pull his shorts down, and then they got into it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And the discussion was they wasn't going to give him a second tech because he already had a tech. You know what I mean? So the discussion was how referees basically hold a second tech because they know he already got one. Like, it's ridiculous, man. Like, I get who he is. I know how important he is. He got championships and all that, but come on, man. You got the lead in a different way sometimes. Like if he'd have played it off, Sabonis would have got it. They might have, and getting Sabonis out the game, they might have won. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to play both sides, man. You can't I'm just trying to figure out what in his mind that he thought by stepping on him was going to help, and then getting the crowd all rowdied up. Why Alex? You know why the commissioner's there?
I know. Wow. Yeah, Draymond. And like I said, everybody loves to excuse his behavior, and it's like you gotta stop doing this type of stuff. I think it's really grossly irresponsible for the fact that because if you look at it from a slow mo perspective, Sabonis didn't grab his leg at all. He didn't grab his leg. And I, because at first, because when you see it in real time, you're like, okay, I kind of understand it. Because what was happening is his hands came together, he clapped, and then his leg was like maybe inches away from when he clapped right there. So maybe a finger, maybe a thumb or something might got inadvertently placed there. But like stuffing on the chest, and everybody's like, he's acting. Let somebody stuff on your chest while you on your back. You come on now, like you're gonna have that's gonna hurt. You know that's gonna hurt. I don't care what you do. But
Right. I just
opinion,
he just shouldn't have stomped on him. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, all right. So yeah. It's warranted. And I think when you are like what I call a habitual offender, this is going to happen. If you have a track record, just like what I think Joe Dumars said today, like and that's based on and that's to paraphrase what he said, but in other words, you have had a past of doing this. That's kind of what warranted the suspension. And this is where, and and this is such an inopportune time for this Golden State Warriors team to be without Draymond Green, and you're down 0-2. Granted, you're back home,
Hmm.
but still, you still need when you're down 0-2, you need all your horses. You need everybody, and especially like a guy like a Draymond Green who can affect the game physically and mentally, as we've seen in both ways where it kind of backfired. But I mean, the
Hmm.
suspension is warranted. Hopefully they clean up his act, and hopefully this won't be like a 2016 type of situation where if we look at this situation where they lose game three, and then and if they go back to Sacramento, we know that the Warriors have struggled. Like they lost 30 games on the road this year.
Yeah, they not a good
So
road team.
yeah, and that's one thing too where and then you look at that situation where you know when we look at this series and be like how pivotal him missing game three. I won't say it won't be the equivalent as him missing game five of the 2016 NBA Finals, but this is where you're going to look at it and be like, well, this is a situation where this is really can backfire. And if they don't be down, if they down on three,
Right.
they might make it back to Sacramento, but you better start lighting the beams if they go back to Sacramento because it's a
Right.
wrap.
Well, we
Yeah,
like I said, when we get to talking about our NBA, I seen some issues. We'll speak on that. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
bottom line is, I get what he do, and then maybe he feel like he can send the spark, but it's getting to the point now where everybody like him and Clay is paying for a contract too, and I don't know, man. I know he can opt in, but he they have never got control of that impulse. They've never got in control of it. You know what I mean? And he's a veteran now. So by now, what I'm saying, he should be able to know when to turn it on and turn it off. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. So we'll talk about the NBA plans. We'll talk about pretty much within about 5 days in, 4 or 5
Right.
days in.
Hmm.
Pretty much what have been your playoff essentially just some stuff like your takeaways that you've seen
Right.
for the playoffs thus far.
Well, I haven't really watched the 76ers and the Nets or the Hawks and the Celtics. Um, but the Knicks and the Cavs, I felt like the first game, I felt like Donovan Mitchell didn't turn it on, even though I think, got like 38 points, but he didn't turn it on early enough. Um, so they can get that win. I felt like he balanced it out in the second game where he got Garland, um, basically lit it up, and then he got like 13 assists. So that Knicks and Cavs game is very interesting to me. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm very scared of the Cavs. You know what I'm saying? They shoot well. Moving on to the Heat and the Bucks, I just feel like the Heat is too physical. I think they're gonna chump the Bucks, which they already somewhat is doing. Let me see the Suns and the Clippers. The problem with the Suns and Clippers is I feel like the first game, well, I know for a fact Chris Paul as a point guard has not really done anything in the playoffs. I had to ask somebody, who would you rather have, Chris Paul or Rondo? And everybody said Rondo. Why? Because at least Rondo could play defense. You know what I mean? The first game, Chris Paul missed a bunch of important shots. He only had 7 points. He was 2 for 8. The second game, he got 16 points. You seen he was more aggressive. He can't do that every game. You know what I'm saying? KD is gonna give you what he do. That's why Booker went off last night. Um, Payne is still hurt, but I still feel like I think the Suns still can beat it, but I think the Clippers is too deep to me anyway. You know what I mean? So I really hope the Suns can pull it out, but I think that I don't know, man. It's a toss up for that. Then I guess you can go to the Lakers versus the Grizzlies, of course. Uh, AR-15 doing his thing. Definitely Rui. I like Rui. Rui is like a small AD to me. You know what I'm saying? If he can back you up, you know what I'm saying? He can hit the three. I really like Rui. And then the Lakers also, man, they got shooters and then they got slashers. You know what I mean? So like if shooters hurt, then you can mess around. You get D'Lo in the game or Austin. Like they always can have somebody that have an off night, then put somebody else in. You know what I mean? Um, then the Kings and the Warriors. And I'm gonna end it like that. The Kings and the Warriors. You know what the real issue is? They gave Poole that money, and Poole is smelling up the joint. Like when I watched the highlights. He's out of position. Like he went to shoot a three, and he kicked his leg out. Like he's trying to do every little thing to try to get ahead, and he's smelling it. It ain't Clay. Clay made 21 points, 37 and 38 minutes. Clay is doing exactly what Clay do. Steph is doing what Steph do. We all know what Draymond does, but Draymond got suspended. Like Poole has got to step up. How you know what I mean? He's got to step. Like for instance, game 1, 17 points in 22 minutes. Game 2, 4 points, one for 7 in 16 minutes. Jordan Poole got to step up.
Yeah. Especially, considering back his performance that led him to the extension.
Right.
You got to have Jordan Poole back. It's interesting. I mean, and I think always those game ones are always like kind of toss up.
Right.
It's funny, like on Saturday, that 3 of the 4 home teams won.
Right.
On Saturday. And then 3 out of the 4 road teams won on Sunday. So,
right.
Probably from a number of perspectives, very interesting. And then you just look at just the injuries that have happened in the playoffs,
Right.
where big time guys again, big guys are, big time contributors. Look at now as we were watching this Lakers Memphis game as we
Right.
live, Jaws out, and then you looking at the questionable health for Giannis. So it's one of the things where, and we're seeing this in the first couple days. What are we going to see as the rounds progress, the weeks, the
Right.
months progress in the playoffs? And this Kings and Warriors it's one of the best series. I think it's the most compelling one. Definitely considering the fact you look at the teacher versus pupil matchup, Mike Brown
Mm-hmm.
and Steve Kerr. Well, Steve Kerr being the teacher, and then Mike Brown being the pupil. And I actually shout out to Mike Brown, the NBA Coach of the Year, which
Right.
is a good thing, but it's always a bad thing because it seems like everything goes to shit after you become the NBA head coach. Actually, one of the and Avery Johnson was like that too, and so
Right.
I like that. But look, and then just Sacramento's in itself, like Sacramento's in the playoffs, light the beam, and this is kind of like the time. This is the only really time I've seen Sacramento play consistently because obviously, we don't really get a lot of Kings games
Right.
on this side of Mississippi. So, seeing them, actually seeing them, multiple times in a week, it's been cool. But and you just look at them, and you just look at that Golden State. I mean, not Golden State, but you look at Sacramento team. That backcourt, obviously, with De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk. I mean, incredible. And then you just look at just their, being able to out rebound the Warriors in that series. So it's definitely going to be by far one of the best first round series that we've seen in quite some time.
Right. It's emotional too.
And Golden State is going to rebound. And I think they'll rebound. And I think we're going to have a compelling series. Maybe Golden State can win one on the road in Sacramento. And
I thought they was gonna win game 2 since they kicked out E40. I really did. I was like, hold up.
Yeah.
Like I thought I was like, come on, y'all ain't, you know what I mean? But and that story could have got deeper. You know what I mean? I think they were starting to investigate it, and then Draymond do what he did, and it kind of shut that story down. It's so weird that how stuff moves so fast. You know what I mean? When it comes to stories. So I was like, I like E40. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I don't like the Warriors, but I think I'm gonna go for the Warriors now. But man, I like Sacramento, man. Like Malik Monk is not scared. You know what I mean? Like if Fox is off, Malik Monk gonna make it happen. You know, and they're deep, man. They really are deep.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, they are. They're really deep in a lot of positions, and just the fact that we got playoff basketball in Sacramento is just it's good for the league. It's good for the league.
Right, it is good for the league.
So you think about it, they haven't been in the playoffs since 2006. So we got kids that are juniors in high school that has never seen a Sacramento Kings playoff game until Saturday night, and it's just and it's definitely going to a great series to say the least, and
Yeah, it's great. It really is.
too, we gotta do something about this having these 10:30 games in East Coast. It's too much. I'm serious. I'm serious, and I know as I get older and I progress, it's gonna get even worse. Watching a 10:30 game is torture. Like us East Coasters gotta go to work the next morning, and we ain't gonna survive the game. That game gonna be watching us about halftime. Because anybody in my age bracket, we sleep at midnight. So it's about halftime by the time we finish that
I'm a
game.
Laker fan, so I'm up late. Like now, I'm shocked that they playing this early. I'm like, but it's all good. I feel you though.
And then Milwaukee and Miami playing. Like, oh my! Just imagine being in Milwaukee. Game at 9 o'clock at night. You ain't get home about midnight. And that's if you're a fan. God knows if you cover the team, you ain't going home about 1, 2 o'clock at night.
Right.
And we know you got a job. We know you got a 9 to 5.
Right.
I'm just saying. That's how it is. But yeah, Adam Silver, we gotta do something. I know you.
Adam, we gotta do something, man.
We gotta do something, Adam, because I know you got a lot on your plate. I know you got so much.
Yeah, because he got a contract. He's trying to get signed. He's trying to get an extension.
Yeah, and on that, please, can we stop having 10:30 games? 10 o'clock is pushing it. 10 o'clock is really pushing it. But 10:30 is criminal because you think about it, and that's why I'm thinking about it. So if the game is at 10:30, the game ain't gonna be over till about 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Who red-blooded American sports loving fan in the East Coast that works the next morning, hours away from from going to work, it's gonna stay up and watch these games? Like,
wow.
So this is what we need to do. Start games at 6:30.
Start games at 6:30.
And then the other game is at 9. Because at least it's about midnight. I can do midnight. I can do about 11:30 midnight. We got inside the NBA like at 11:45. Give us a little comic relief before we go to bed.
Right.
But at 10:30, that's criminal. That's criminal.
As I watch these games, man, they making me, because especially when you watch the team, you be looking at the coach like, why are you playing? Why don't you play this person? Why don't you play this person? As much as AD and his, you know what I'm saying? Every time AD get any contact, I'm nervous.
Yeah. What's the boy Reggie Miller said? Anytime he go down, it's 3 weeks.
Did you see the 2K when somebody bumped into it? He fell like, oh.
Yeah, I seen that. I like, dude. It's kind of real life though. Like that's what happened when he was in that jump ball with Desmond Bain. Almost similar to that. But shout out to your boy Tristan Thompson. I see your boy Tristan Thompson deep on the bench.
Deep on the bench. Need to be playing.
Tristan Thompson. Shout out to Tristan. Tristan, he stayed with a job. Tell you, boy, you be click tight with LB.
Right.
LBJ.
Let's go, baby. I'm sorry. My bad. You know how it is.
and it's funny how we have the multiple degrees of LeBron James.
Right.
We talked about Rich Paul earlier.
Right.
We talked about Tristan.
Right.
So let's talk about Jalen Hurts, and it has somewhat of a correlation to LeBron James, Rich Paul, and all that. So it's funny how all this kind of
right. I
So,
didn't know that until they said it. I thought he wasn't allowed. That wasn't allowed to be in the NFL. I thought because it had something to do with like you had to go to school or something like that.
oh, and yeah, it now it was, but that ended up something ended up happening that appeal. I mean, it didn't go through. So yeah.
Okay.
So Jalen Hurts, obviously the Philadelphia Eagles quarterback, the quarterback that led them to the Super Bowl, 3 rushing touchdowns in the Super Bowl. Signed a 5-year, $255 million extension
Hmm.
with $179 guaranteed.
Hmm.
So so his average will be $51 million a year, which will be he'll be the highest paid player in NFL history. Obviously, that's just a title that he'll probably have for the next few months
Right.
until some other guys come along. So and of course, as we talked about somewhat the degrees of LeBron James. So obviously, the agent for Jalen Hurts is Nicole Lynn, who is actually the head of the football operations at Clutch Sports. So this is
Hmm.
a de facto Rich Paul client by proxy of Nicole Lynn. Shout out to Nicole Lynn. Um, I maybe we'll have her on the podcast. I know I sent out a message years ago, but I haven't heard anything back. You know, I don't know. I know I reached out to her when she signed Quinn Williams, which is God knows that's probably about 2 years. Quinn
Hmm.
Williams from the Jets. I think that was like one of her first like high profile, like I think that was the first year she was representing as an
Right.
agent. I think that was like her first one of her first clients. But maybe it came maybe the tweet came through a pigeon. Maybe she'll get it one of these days. What's she saying? But
Hmm.
yeah. Let's see. I think we got through all the details of it.
Right.
Your thoughts on Jalen Hurts getting that extension?
Um. I'm happy for him. I think since he's been there, the Eagles have been really moving forward and to the point they almost won the Super Bowl. Um, so if we really look at it, he's done everything that they've asked him to do. So why, of course they picked him, got rid of who was it? Hurts. Who was
Who?
the
Who
who was the
quarterback?
quarterback? Huh? Wentz,
Wentz.
wasn't it?
Carson Wentz. Yeah. What
Yeah, they
Carson
got rid
Wentz?
of Wentz. I just felt like he's disciplined. He's done everything they ask of him. He's not disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? He just seemed like he's been on straight and narrow. He's been a somewhat of a company guy. He seemed like the city loving. You know what I'm saying? He seemed like he's supportive. I think that they did it right. That's how you're supposed to say, hey man, you make it he's him the coach and they put people around him and he was very close to winning the Super Bowl. He just went up against a great coach and a very great team. You know what I mean? That's like the marquee team in the league. Almost beat him. You know what I mean? So he deserved it. I'll say this. They did it right too. They did it before Burrows and Lamar got their money. You know what I'm saying? So what's up? I, I'm happy for him. You know what I mean? So that's all I really could say. I really, you the football guy. I want to know how you feel about it.
Yeah. So I got two hats. I'm gonna do the Commanders hat for s and giggles. Yeah, that was a lucky Super Bowl run. You play a Giants team that you had no they had no business being in the playoffs. If it weren't for Kirk Cousins, like kind of in a certain particular sense, then
Hey,
you beat
we're
a team
cool.
that didn't have a
We're
quarterback
cool
in
at.
San Francisco. You know, but we won't do that.
We're
Then
cool at.
you play a San Francisco 49ers team that didn't have a quarterback. So I mean, like I said, I guarantee if Sam Donald was the quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, they'd have been in the Super Bowl. They have a quarterback in there. But in all seriousness, though, um, I love this deal for Jalen. I it's so many layers to it. I think this is it's a testament to just the perseverance that he has endured. And I think this is one of those where guys should look at, just his trajectory of what he's been through. I mean, you just think about even back in the Alabama days where you led a team to a national championship and you get benched in the second half for a freshman in Tua Tagovailoa and he wins the football game.
It's a
So
trip, bro.
well, I mean, I'm serious. Yeah, but it's more so because nowadays we got guys who think that their life is over,
Right.
athletic wise, and you just think about that, and then even in the NFL, when you look at like Carson Wentz was bad, just got paid
Right.
almost not this deal, but almost similar where they got an extension, and he was about and he was a part of a team that Doug didn't want him.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then, they're able to persevere that. And then now, you got a guy in Nick that wants you. And, and then if you think about this time last year, there were so many question marks with Jalen Hurts. Like, oh, well, is he really a starting quarterback? And now we fast forward, he's earned it. He damn near was playing at MVP like level. And to get this kind of money, and like you said, kudos to Philly for doing this because the price is going to continue to go up. Like if we would have bought a carton of eggs, you know, this time last year, we wouldn't know how much
Right.
eggs cost. Hell, you'll
Right.
buy them up in bulk.
Right.
Same thing gonna happen next year. Like we talking
Right.
about, we say that he's the highest paid player in NFL history for now. Then the price will go up. Like Joe Burrow's up, Justin Herbert's up, Lamar's up. So yeah. So you have to make those deals because the price will
And
go up every single year. So you can't avoid it.
to me, the Eagles did what they supposed to. They gave him all the weapons, and he got him to the Super Bowl. Even regardless, they moved up. Josh Allen got paid, right? He ain't been to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Like he did when we did our we basically was talking about where we thought they were going to go. He did what we said the Bills were supposed to do. You know what I mean? They did it. We said, man, they got everything. They should be there. They should really do in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Got there. The opportunity was there. They had no quarterback. It is what it is. But he did it. I think he looked at it as too as the best thing for him because, like they said, they can still get other people or all this other stuff.
Yeah.
This boy LeBron ain't. It's crazy.
And it's almost similar to kind of how the Patrick Mahomes deal was, where he got them like how they structured the contract, where they're only going to have a $6.1 million cap hit this year. Then next year
Mm-hmm.
is 13, and it's going to progress up. So they got pretty much a 2-year window where he can kind of get some more help, tighten up some of the deficiencies they have on the team. And then 16 of their 22 starters are signed for the next 2 years. So that's
Right.
another thing where this Philadelphia team, Eagles team, is set up for the future. At least we're looking for NFL wise. 2 years is really the future. How everything goes. So it was another smart deal, and I think that's eerily similar to kind of what he did with Patrick Mahomes in 2020, where look, he's in this slot. We got to pay him, and we're just gonna do it this way and give ourselves some flexibility. So when the
Right.
time comes this time next year, we'll have something. We'll have somewhat of a cushion, and then you
Right.
probably start seeing some guys maybe 2025 that almost a la like kind of what Kansas City, like Tariq Hill when he left, and you'll start seeing that type of stuff probably in the next 2 years. But you got a good run, and hopefully when you do make that run, this run will be legitimate, and you won't play like a third string quarterback that and then you want to play a fourth string quarterback with you know in the conference championship game.
Right. I just think the Eagles, shout out to them too. They paid him like they supposed to. Like Lamar should have been got his extension. They trying to say that he turned all that down, but they just trying to make him look some type of way, man. He should have been got his extension.
Yeah, and I have a stance about that too. Because part of me is like people say, well, you don't have to have an agent. It's not about the agent in the sense of well to negotiate your deal, but you need somebody to represent you
He
to
should go right to her.
have those. Yeah, to Nicole Lynn. He needs somebody to have those hard conversations that he can't say obviously because he's in that building. That's when I think about an agent. I don't necessarily think because people look at agents almost in a cookie cutter version or like a
Mhm.
vacuum, like a Drew Rosenhaus, because he's out there, he's boisterous, So people look at agents in that kind of sense, but um, you know, you can have those type of agents that will speak for the audience. Cause you see how tongue in cheek Baltimore is, and they
Mhm.
don't really talk. They talk about it, but they kind of dance around. They do a great job of dancing around the topic. They address the elephant in the room, but the elephant is in the room, but they really don't address the elephant in the room. If you follow me with that. So, and I
Yeah.
think Lamar
Right.
needs somebody. He needs somebody in essence to have those tough conversations with the organization. And that's the only thing I think he needs somewhat of a buffer because you look at all this stuff that he's doing in social media and stuff.
Mhm.
It's just he needs somebody to do that. Almost not like the kind of talk like what Chris Carter said. You need a fall guy, but not in the dictionary sense that Chris Carter was talking about. But you need somebody who's in your corner who can make those tough calls and can say, hey,
Right.
I need this for him. Like
And,
so
and it
yeah,
must be something unique about that position anyway. You know what I'm saying? It being the quarterback, you must need somebody in there to talk because it seemed like the way they want to do the contracts anyway is so you can get the people around you. You know what I mean? Because that's one thing about this one. They was like the way they did it was that they could still go get other weapons. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And it's like one thing I heard was so it must be having an agent there set it up so you can still get paid, they can get paid, and you can still be on a good team. You know what I mean? You
yeah,
know?
and that's what it really because they can kind of get it somewhere in the back end
Right.
and it won't be such a cap hit. Like our teams have been very good when it comes to
He has
flexibility.
a no
When it
trade
comes to
clause, B.
yeah,
First time that's ever happened, right?
I think I'm not sure, but yeah, but that's really interesting though. That's yeah, I mean yeah,
So
I mean
let me
that's
ask you this:
yeah.
do you think that Burrows should try to set up do his extension? Because I heard that I did see something probably about a month ago that there is talks and they're trying to get that shit done. Do you think that's going to help or hurt Lamar?
Um, it's weird because I don't. The thing with Lamar Jackson is you would have thought in theory the Deshaun Watson thing was going to help
Yeah.
him, right? Because you think to yourself, Deshaun Watson productivity is great, but he's never won a league MVP. Joe Burrow, in this case, in granted, he's never been a league MVP, but Lamar has been a league MVP. But even though Joe Burrow has been in the playoffs and he's made it to a Super Bowl, so to me, I don't think he's gonna. I think if I had to choose between the two, I thought Deshaun Watson would probably be his best. Would be his best, like kind of in a sense that would help him elevate him. But then everybody's
Hmm.
like, well, no, we're not gonna give everybody a fully guaranteed contract.
Right.
So it's weird.
So,
Like
so to me, and my barber was dogging Lamar. It kind of it almost I didn't get emotional, but I was like, yeah, why you even he was dogging him. But my thing is this: did Joe Burrows was hurt his first year, right?
yeah, mm-hmm,
So the last 2 years he did made it to the Super Bowl. He did make it in the deep in the playoffs. But do you know the last 2 years Lamar had been hurt? But when he's not hurt, Joe Burrows is not the top quarterback in the division. Now you saying why is he hurt? Because I'm trying to say it's not that Lamar's getting hurt because he did something stupid or stepped the wrong way. No, he's getting hurt because he's working harder than everybody because he has no weapons. You know what I mean? It's you know what I'm saying? Like I said, like I was like, bro, do you not? I think he has the highest completion percentage since Peyton Manning. Like when you comparing a running quarterback to Peyton Manning, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. They don't. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe they need to go watch Air.
But yeah, and that's one thing where with Lamar, like it's interesting, like because now that MVP year, it's almost about to get him out. As far as it's going to be because in the NFL it's a "What have you done for me lately" type of league.
Right, right,
So the MVP situation is now almost it's 4 years old.
right,
So now in theory you think you can't really use it. Almost like how we used to thought about Carson Wentz, and we talked about well he was on the verge of in 2017 he was on the verge of becoming becoming the MVP until he got hurt.
right,
So and we talked about at nauseum like are we gonna get 2017 Carson Wentz, and we never got him.
right.
So that's the thing. Yeah, he need an agent. In my personal
Yeah,
opinion,
I mean,
he need
yeah, he
he
need an
need
agent.
he needs some form of representation because you need some form of representation. I just put it that way. You know,
He
I
needs
just
he
think
needs
that
an agent. He needs an agent because if you really listen to people like Deion Sanders and all these type of people, they're like, man, why use this as a avenue to get paid like you supposed to. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to change the narrative and do all these other. You know what I'm saying? Like get your
yeah,
contract in there, get paid, and then whatever necessary other things you want to do, do. Maybe go
yeah,
holler at Dwayne Johnson and invest in that or something. You know what I'm saying? Like don't play
yeah,
around trying to change this league. Let the league get comfortable. Because I mean, me personally, dealing with the quarterback in the quarterback that's in Cleveland. I mean, if we really be honest, think about he should have got that because think how that he got treated from when the Hopkins and the other guy left and went to Arizona. Remember that there was all that drama there, and he was like he didn't know he was gonna sign the extension. You know who I'm talking about, the Texans, right? Then he signed the
yeah,
extension. Everybody was like, why did he sign the extension? I think he got then I think
yeah.
got hurt or he that was the pandemic year, right?
Yeah, so remember he played yeah, 'cause in 20 the pandemic year that's when they when them had okay because his last game was in 2020 I think. What year is this? Okay, so 2022. So he missed so he missed 2021 season. He missed that whole
Okay,
entire season.
right.
And he got suspended for 11 games last year in 2022. So the last time he played a game was like January 2021 because they were like 4-12, and then he ended up going to Pro Bowl that year too. Kind of think about it because he had
Okay.
got how many
So,
yards? He was
but
balling.
but with all that craziness that happened, the HBO and all this type of stuff, and he just played the role. He ain't disrespect nobody, and this and that. And everybody just throwing darts. You know what I mean? Nobody even wanted to talk about it because we was like, man, we ain't even trying to deal with what can come at us by us speaking on it. You know what I mean? That's why he got that money. He paid off who he was supposed to pay off. That's why nobody wants to really compare the two. That's what's crazy. When you talk to people, they shut it down fast. You know what I'm saying? So from what I'm looking, I'm not in the NFL, but it's just looking like you need to get you an agent that give you the best contractors that you need. You know what I mean? Just do it through the process, get what you get, and you straight. Like why? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's where even I kind of knew that was gonna happen because with them, because Baltimore was even saying, well, that's a bad deal that Cleveland did.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is this, and I knew it was gonna be doomed
Mm-hmm.
because granted, because they're not trying to give everybody that fully guaranteed contract for certain.
Right.
That wasn't gonna happen. They definitely don't want that to happen. They like, oh well, we'll have to pay, $250 million to a quarterback. So
Mm-hmm.
of course that's going to be dead on arrival, and that should have been a bargaining chip. Because like to me, if I would compare my numbers to Deshaun Watson, I'd be like, look, you know, it's comparable,
Right.
and I'm the youngest MVP in NFL history. And like I said, he could have used that a lot more. That bargaining chip is getting less and less as years progress. Like
Mm-hmm.
last year, he would have signed last year or what have you, then he could have said that. But now, I don't think he can go into the drawing table in 2024 and say that because obviously he's going to be almost 6 years removed from that distinction. And we know how NFL is between now and like 6 years is almost like a world of difference.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's gonna be definitely interesting. But
Well,
he definitely needs he needs representation for sure.
Keyshawn Johnson said that he believed that the Ravens gonna give him his bread. That they gonna do it, and then um, just got to get through the draft and a few other things. I just feel like for what I mean, like he's in my division. You know what I'm saying? And I know when he playing, like I know when, like I remember the early games this season, he'd be up 30, and then they'd still lose, and everybody pointing towards him. And I'm like, well, if he got you up 30, what the defense doing? You know what I'm saying? Got you
Yeah,
up 30 points. You know what I mean? Like, but and then it would be games that they supposed to kick the field goal, and then they'll put it on him. You know what I'm saying? And he has to make it happen. And it's the difference between the Eagles and the Ravens, where he got paid because they have a system and they got these weapons that I watched them. I was like, yo, they playing with teams. Like they look like they scrimmaging teams. You know what I mean? Like, So anyway, congratulations to him. He deserved it.
yeah, for sure, for sure. And
Mm.
yeah, we'll see him twice a year, and good luck.
Who y'all
So
quarterback? Who's y'all quarterback?
Sam Howell, yep,
Ain't it
yeah,
Jacoby?
yeah, but Jacoby ain't starting. Yep, this is my quarterback. My quarterback right here in the black. My quarterback Sam Howell from the University of North Carolina. Yeah,
That's why you acted that way. Okay, okay.
oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, that's my quarterback for sure. We can beat Dallas, for sure. So we'll talk a little. I guess this is high school hoops or preps. So we gotta talk about this Mikey Williams situation that has transpired in these last couple of days. So Mikey Williams, obviously, if you're in the preps, he is one of the top guards coming out of class of 2023.
Hmm.
Made it to Memphis last fall, so he'll be going to Memphis, I guess.
Right,
But
probably going to Memphis. Yeah.
let's continue the story. He's
Right,
he's he's committed to go to Memphis.
right.
Once he graduates from high school. So so Mikey Williams was arrested on last week for a felony weapons charge. He faces 5 counts of assault with a deadly weapon.
Hmm.
And this stems from a situation on March 27th, an incident at his San Diego home, where pretty much an incident was initiated by some uninvited individuals trying to enter his home and causing disturbance. Where during that disturbance, shots were fired, and
Yeah,
essentially, according to the police department, and allegedly, that Williams is alleged to have matched the suspect's description in that incident of the shooter. So,
hmm.
yikes, really heavy. So, your thoughts on Mickey Williams and what has transpired?
Well, um, I believe that whatever this incident is, it sometimes I think they're gonna fix it. You know what I mean? Because he has a promising future. I don't know if he did it, but they pick and saying that he did it, and he comes from a place where um things of like that people are born into. You know what I mean? And he has an opportunity to change his life. You know what I mean? By getting away from where he's from. He's already this just happened. So I'm sure if he go to Memphis, that they're gonna try to get him away from it, even though it is Memphis, but at the same time they're gonna keep him away from it um because of an incident like this. You know what I mean? Um It's a 2 year charge. They could do, I don't know. I don't know if he did it or not. I'm not even gonna say it, but it doesn't look good at all. But you can learn from it, man. You really can. I don't know how to be. I can. It's hard for me to be negative, man, because like I was just when I went to the up here to get my hair twisted. Boy, let me tell you. Um, sorry, it's hard to do this and you be watching the game too. I apologize, but I was talking to a young man in there. He just turned 18 on Sunday. He's a tailor, and I start understanding. He was telling me certain names. I start understanding when we first moved to this area why one lady was always taking a lot of the boys to play football, baseball, or basketball. You know what I'm saying? Because she was trying to help them get out. A lot of them did. A lot of them had an opportunity to get out, but they still failed to one of the whatever issues that fell into the streets would kind of mess their future up. Future up. You know what I mean? So I was talking to him, and he said he couldn't even go back to school. He's a little small little dude. You know what I'm saying? He said that he got a gun charge, so he can't go back to Hopewell High. He said because of he got caught with an AK-47. And he said, man, I'm just kind of tripping because his little cousin got killed. She was 9 years old. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just sitting there and I was just watching him, man. Like before I asked him any questions, he was small, frail little dude. He just looked angry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's not paying no sports. I don't even know what he can do. Well, Mikey Williams is a top prospect and things can change. You know what I'm saying? When you hear a lot of these guys talk about it, Carmelo, all these dudes, um, uh, Lamar Odom, all these guys, they still had their demons, but like a lot of the commissioner and all them was letting them know, like, look, man, you gotta make a decision, but you got an opportunity to change your family and blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta get some therapy, and you got to have a small circle. You got to get away from that. You know what I'm saying? Like even in the mindset, if he did do that, like what? Why would he want to? He don't work so hard. Why would he want to mess up his future?
Yeah, and it's just one of those where it's very unfortunate the situation, and you just think to yourself,
It's
and
really
and
hard.
I know we. Mhm.
One more thing that the young man said. I was telling him. I said, I don't know. I said, is it just Hopewell doing things to each other, or is it Petersburg Hopewell? Is it Richmond? He said, man, it's all of it. He said, I don't even know why they even play sports together because they really shouldn't. You know what I'm saying? I said, because you do know when y'all leave this area, go, out of state, y'all be happy y'all met each other. He said, not everybody think that way. And he said, for me, I ain't had no choice. I was born into this. You have to understand, this is 2023. You saying home San Diego. A lot of these guys are born into situations that we may not understand because we not coming from that culture. You understand what I'm saying? It's no excuse. So that's one of the ways you push a young man to play or a young woman to do whatever that they got passion for to fulfill their dreams. And he's really close. He's probably a year or two to be there. You know what I mean? And then that's a whole nother level that he gonna have to deal with. You know what I'm saying? So it might be a blessing in disguise. So he can get away from people.
Yeah,
It's the norm though. It
my
really is.
thoughts on
Like,
essentially. Oh,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh. No, no, no. You go. Do you think, man? Do you think? No, 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 no. No, that's give me what you saying.
I said it's the
No,
norm. Like, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like he's a senior about to go to college. It's kind of the norm. Like it's like you almost there, and some people I call it like webbing yourself or burning it down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Where the
yeah,
pressure's on you. You know what I'm saying? And anxiety. You almost there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But Yeah, and it's one of those things where when I look at people of that age, it's easy for me to say it now because of just
Hmm.
of my age. But
Right.
gosh, and I feel for for teenagers these day and age because just the fact of one little misstep like that could cause irreparable damage for the rest of your life. Like I think when I think about these type of stuff, obviously I think about it as 38, how as you get older, how certain things that you did when you were younger can affect you even present day as you get older. I think when I look at these perspectives when they're their age of how their life will be going forward. Uh, this situation is just this is where it's just like you minimizing your circle, minimizing this situation because from what I heard, this is like a party. So it's kind of one of those where
Hmm.
people came to this party and essentially shouldn't have been there, and that's where
Hmm.
we know those type of things that causes that friction, it causes that type of those type of situations where something like that a gun had to be involved. So it sucks for him because, like you said, he's on his way. He's probably gonna graduate like in a month. Like he's ready to go to
Right.
Memphis in like the next few months.
Right.
So the fact that this is going on with that, it's just really it's a really important situation. And even if and we we say that maybe he'll get off the hook, but we don't know who's the district
Right.
attorney, the
Right.
judge. They
Right.
might, in essence, want to make a statement for him.
Mm.
And like you said, I think that carries, I think, what 2.5 years potentially. I know they said he may be facing that, but we don't know. We think that that's could be the possibility, but
Right.
we don't know who's going to be the who's going to make that decision. And those type of situations where if he does miss time, in theory, he'll be in his 20s, but how that's going to look for him as far as his prospects going forward. Like,
Right.
will he get a scholarship? Can he have opportunities in the G League
Right.
or in the NBA?
Right.
So, in theory, people thinking that it's it might he might get a slap in the wrist, but those type of things it's just one of the things where it's just like this is a if it's anything, but I think more so than anything, it's a wake up call. I think it's
Right.
just one of those where if he can escape this should let him know. Look, I need to reevaluate all these things that are going
Right.
on in my life. Like I
Right.
have to get this straight because one other like if he can escape this, he may not be lucky the second time, or if it's happens
Right.
the third time. So
Right.
he really has to be. He really has to look at the situation and hope this is the biggest wake up call for his career and his personal development because and then just and it's one of the things too where San Diego. I mean, I'm like there may not be somewhere where you really want to go. After you graduate. I mean, I
Right.
know I love and I've never been to San Diego, and I heard San Diego's really nice and it's 7 degrees every day and a nice cool breeze. But for Mickey Williams, you might want to stay away from that area. You
Hmm.
know, just because of just that just seems like a recipe for disaster, a recipe for trouble.
But
So
I mean, you have to
yeah,
understand, like, they're talking about it more and more about, being young and being starting to be a celebrity, and then you got to deal with that vibration of that ego because you becoming a man. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
all the like you see what happened with the Memphis basketball. I'm trying not to say names, but I know deep down he thought like, man, this thing could be a toss up. Like I might really threw this up. Like, no offense, when he came in the game, nobody knew who he was. They was looking at Zion. You know what I'm saying? LaMelo, they wasn't looking at him. You know what I mean? And you didn't surpass them now. You know what I mean? You really surpassing
yeah,
Zion. Like they talking about trading him. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
so, you done changed like I keep telling everybody, like, everybody should have, if you're gonna go that route and you want to be a entertainer, a superstar in that way, you should go talk to Dion. He was the best one. He won in the NFL. He won in baseball, and understand everything that he doing. It you never really heard much about something crazy happening off the field. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure it was things
Yeah.
happen, but it was nothing major. You know what I mean? And he hung with everybody. He's sitting there having conversation about Magic City and all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just don't understand. I mean, I do understand because everybody, you get 1 minute you ain't got millions, next minute you got millions, but
Yeah.
you didn't prepare yourself for that. Like, some people believe not everybody should make money because they don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah. And I hate that. I hate that argument.
You
Because
hate
to
that?
me, if you have a skill set, yeah, because if you have a skill set that can manage that money, that's like
That's if you
anybody.
right.
But
That's
but
it. But you got the skill set. Like, I think you could do it. I think you could do it, and I.
yeah, yeah. Now, I'm gonna talk about yes, it's some people that don't deserve the money, but if you have a skill set, regardless if you're bad financially, because hell, if you're bad financially, it don't matter how much you make.
Right,
You can make $100,000 and be paycheck to paycheck, and then you
right,
elevate yourself and become a millionaire. You'll be
right,
paycheck to paycheck anyway. So to me, if you have the skills, yeah, I mean you deserve it.
right. I'm
Yeah,
with you. I'm with you. I just, I think about that a lot. You know what I mean? And you know what I'm saying? You want to do this and do this, and you start looking at your account like, but a lot of people, man, they get that money like overnight, and mentally they just wasn't ready yet, and they start doing things.
yeah, yeah. Because like everything, like money is all money essentially is. It's just gonna prove what you really are. So that's what money entails. More,
Hmm.
it's just gonna make you more of what you are.
Right,
So
right, right.
yeah. So and
and and
that
and the way he
yeah,
plays too, you can see like he's a aggressive guy. He talks, he's a certain way. You know what I mean? And it sucks
yeah,
because he is a celebrity. He probably don't realize it, or you know what I mean? Like, he is a certain type of celebrity, so
yeah,
he probably really can't speak on what really happened. You know what I mean?
yeah. And plus, it's an ongoing investigation too. So
Right,
you
right.
know
That also,
that's
but he can't really speak up for himself. You know what I mean? That's a lot of
yeah,
things. Like, it's an actor having a good year and a domestic dispute. And I heard that, he said, I didn't do anything. And then whoever the girl who put the charges is, she said she was dropping the charges, but they still pushing. He's still losing stuff. He done got dropped
yeah,
by the management. His agent done left. I'm like, well, what's going
yeah,
on? They talk about recasting his parts. I'm like, I thought they said that she was.
yeah. And that's another yeah, and that's one thing too. Like with Mikey Williams, where because he's making the money. Like this
Mm-hmm.
guy one thing like, look, I need to get security. Like I know I because he's
Right.
making the money. Like
Yeah.
I forgot how much he's making because I know he's second behind Braun as far as NIL deals, as far as in that
Ain't
in that in
2.5.
yeah, enough to get security. So that's my next thing for him. Get you security, get you security detail because at the end of the day, you are the prize. You are somebody that's going to be a wealthy. You're a commodity. You got to protect yourself because there's going to be tons of people that are going to be like those kids that came to your house uninvited. That's what
Hmm.
happened. Oh, get yourself security and let them handle it. Get somebody else to do it. As a young kid would say
Right.
now.
And you know what's funny? You got to be okay with it too, because you know what's weird about that
Yeah.
is there's a lot of guys who have security companies that would love that opportunity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship. That's that would you don't use your cousins and all them type. Don't do that. That's gonna be bad.
Use a former police officer,
Right.
build his I don't know what, look chiseled in a suit, Paul, and don't play no games.
Don't
Straight
play no
up.
game.
Yep. Because at the end of the day, you got to protect yourself. Like when Marshawn
Right.
Lynch said, you need to protect your chickens, and you can't protect no chickens, and you out here. You
If
know
the
what I'm saying?
Lakers lose this game, should I be upset?
I mean, all right. I mean,
You're so funny, bro.
now
You're so
I can
funny.
understand if maybe I was down 0-1, then you go down go back to tables 0-2, but you tired. So no, not really.
That's what I'm
That
thinking.
was
I'm
it's
sitting here
playoff. It's at
I'm,
home, and you think even though you don't have Ja Morant, but you look at what's going on now. You got like
hey,
guys
did you
stepping up
watch
like
that
Desmond
game?
Bain.
Did you watch
No,
that
I ain't
game?
watched that. Nah, I ain't watched
Let me
it.
tell you. Can I tell you something?
Yeah,
He had 18 points, but truth be told,
yeah,
Vanderbilt was balling. He had 3 back-to-back travels before
yeah,
he got that charge, and on his face, dude was locking him down. And
yeah,
I believe he wanted to hurry up and get out the game. They took him a lot. They took him out the game a lot, man. For real. Like, you know what I mean? But, I'm going to keep that to
yeah.
myself.
And plus, it's a playoff, so you like this is like kind of one off where people say, well, oh, you're not doing it. Then you look at like what's going on in Milwaukee. Like Milwaukee
Right.
beating the brakes off of Miami, so it's just a one off. I mean, and it's at home. Like you gonna get your best effort from like the bench at home. You look at this like what they doing now. They just they doing their thing. So excuse me. So let's put a bow on tonight's Couch Coach Live. We're giving out game balls and giving out
Oh,
our
yeah,
camera
yeah,
thoughts for
game
tonight.
ball. The
All right.
game
So
ball, I'm
who
giving
is the
it.
game ball this week?
I'm sorry, my bad. I'm going to get a game ball to a few players, man. Definitely Rui with the 29 points in 30 minutes. He was 11 and 11 out of 14, 6 rebounds. Jaden Brunson, 27 points first game. Garland, the second game against the Knicks, 32 points, 7 assists. And Mitchell got 13 assists the second game. The first game, he got 38 points. Uh, Malik Monk, you know what I mean? I hate that we didn't sign him last year, but uh, first game, he got 32. Second game, he got 18. He was 6 for 15. Um, yeah, man. Aaron Fox, 38 points, balling, man. Me personally, this is probably one of the best playoffs in a long time. Yeah, Lakers about to lose.
Yeah.
We don't know who's gonna win the championship. They can say whatever they want to. We don't know who's gonna win.
Yeah. Yep. So my game ball this week, gotta give it to a familiar face. If you were around us in 2017, right around that time, we had a precocious young co-host by the name of Clarence Chip Howard.
Dilly
Now is
dilly.
named as the head coach at John Marshall High School. Obviously,
Word.
great run at Louisa. Now he's back close a little bit closer to town and
Hmm.
was named the head coach at John Marshall High School. Definitely huge shout out to our guy Chip, and reached out to him and texted him and just congratulate him, and I'm definitely really excited on what he's going to do there at John Marshall. So it looks like maybe my fall afternoons on a Friday might be a little bit booked up. So got to definitely support our guy Chip in the fall when so definitely huge shout out to him. And yeah.
Right, man.
Any final thoughts for
Congratulations,
yeah,
Chip. Tell Blackwell I said
yeah,
what's up.
yeah. Any final thoughts before we head on out?
Oh man, great show. Happy to be back, man. Ready. I can't wait to see what you gonna do next, so we can push forward. So that's what's up.
Yeah, yeah. Another great show once again. Had the bad week last week, but we back at it again.
Hmm.
Um, chilling for now. Nothing really going on. Let's see. Kickers don't play again until May, so I'll have that until May. Uh, Everything, yeah, it's pretty much kind of a slow start. Well, as far as couch goes live wise, a little
Hmm.
slow as far as doing stuff. Yeah, I free for well, not really. Next weekend ain't free for the draft, but yeah, I still got someone on a free
Right.
weekend next weekend. So and next weekend. So yeah, we're at 2 weeks of just freeness. That's the first. It's
Right.
been a while. But hey, I'll enjoy it. I'll bask in the glow of that. But yeah, once again, another great show. Um, check out the podcast anyway. Get your podcast, Apple, Spotify. We're there. Also, social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, under Couch Coach Live, and also the website couchcoachlive.com. And we might do a mock draft this weekend. I don't know. I'll post it on social media. We'll do something. If I do the mock draft, we'll post it on social media and announce it if we do. So this has been this week's Couch Coach Live, man. We will catch you guys next week, and we're out.
You're welcome.